Told him I ain't selling it for nothing less than lavish.
No, come on, man.
Draco made a hit with this one.
Yeah, and Jazzy had no chill with this hun floating. I'm hoping this no breaks in this run potent. I'm chosen, this is not a diss song, the token. What's up, folks? How y'all doing? Welcome back to the Jazzy Fields channel. You're returning, and if you're new, welcome. I hope you guys will stay a while, at least for this video. This video is going to be talking about what really matters. When you really contemplate on what you're working towards and when you put your energy towards things and so many obstacles and so many objectives that you can put your energy towards these days, but what does it mean and what does it matter? Is it balanced enough for you at this time in your life? And things of sort. I wanted to really get into that today, so that's going to be the subject matter, y'all. For me to start, I'm in a place where I feel very thankful to be able to have everything circulating around my journey. So even the jobs that I have that may be temporary, I feel like they all are developing a stem of who I need to be in the future. And I feel like I have a good balance of doing things that are going to take me in the direction of where I wanted to go. So for example, my end result would be an entrepreneur that sells product or also elements of my own creative, so writing, lyricism, and that could be product, me expressing my product, my raps, that's a product to be delivered, or my novels, and just other forms that I will expand in my creative. But I want to have my own mindset of fictional events or things of my own creative mindset placed into this world and just known for jazzy. So jazzy is more than just a style of music. Jazzy is a whole persona of balancing and being confident in what is deserving, what is for you, being smooth in your journey and allowing things to flow, not necessarily feeling like you have to be always in control. Even with that, I have moments where I feel like I know what I want. So there's a balance of that, but also being very grateful for where you are right now and being very mindful of where you're going. So keeping that in mind, being very jazzy is something that inspires people, and that is a brand, a persona, and a mindset that I would love to continue to influence and pursue just naturally in my journey. That along with just creative, like physical things like shea butter or just things of, natural progression. So whatever my journey will fold me into, I want to have more of that. But everything that I'm doing right now, even if it's just making notes or making drinks or talking to someone who's doing what I need to do, diving into marketing or just diving into elements of communication on the phone or digitally, those things that I do for work, even if it may be not necessarily under my branch of how I want my work to look, is still influencing all of that. So are you in that place, or do you feel like your job is kind of working you to the point where, like, I have to have a nap, but even with my nap, I could work that in an unpredictable manner and still make time for things like this video and being in the right vibration? Some people, it's the opposite of way around. Like, they feel like they don't have enough time to put into what they desire, but they are so much more effort driven towards a persona or accomplishing a goal within a company that is not necessarily rooted in their journey. So if you have any job that's not a spiritual job, whether it be making you $1,000,000 or making you 1,000,000 fans, if it's not something that's incorporating into your journey, like my journey is developing emotion. My North Node is in Scorpio. My life path is a 5. So that means incorporating more travel. And if you're a life path 1 and your job makes you hidden, so your mindset is not expressed, even if it's a job that made you a lot of money, that wouldn't be in your path. So for you, according to what you know about yourself, even if all that you know is the fact that you don't like talking to people, if you're in a job where you have to communicate directly with someone daily to the point where it's frustrating to you, that's a sign that your job or whatever you need to be doing right now is not the best fit for you. And I hate to tell people that. Trust me, because with me, I be looking for money to make sure I have my bills paid and things of sort. So when you have opportunities for employment, you want to jump on it, you want to feel like it's for you. And sometimes it can be for you for right then and there, but not for you to advance and to really capitalize on what it is that you need to do for yourself. Sometimes it would be for you just to distract you and stop you from your truest blessing. I've seen that happen to people I love for years, multiple years. And, not only have they suffered from it, their family has suffered from it, when all of the time it was just being open to what is naturally in your vibration and how you want to do it, and not being afraid to look further than what's just presented to you on the foreface. Like, you have to be more mindful of what does it do for you? What would it stimulate within you in your journey? What is its purpose in your life? Is it actually fulfilling, or is it just something that's going to get you in a position to where you get more off track? As we look underneath, we have the Queen of Pentacles. It's funny that I note this card, because I've been noticing a lot that what keeps me on track is having moments like this, being more intuitive with the spiritual aspect of things. And I love how they incorporate nature, like she's out in nature, but yet and still there's a pinnacle in that. She's godly, she's queenly, and she has that elegance, that royalty, and also that deep insight. Again, I love when I see the eyes closed, because it's not like she don't see. It seems like she's just so grateful for what she have, and holding on to it is something that she cultivated. It's something that is worth it, something that even if you're working hard towards it, you know that it's getting you in the direction of what you want to go. So there, thus far, is going to give you more inspiration. It's going to give you more of that push, more of that motivation. I don't know who this video is for. It could be just for me, because I like to keep y'all updated with the energies that I'm recognizing, and I feel like I've been able to see opportunities pop out of mid-air, or literally out of my subconscious, where I think this, and the next day the opportunity presents itself, simply because of the fact that I know that that's what I want. And not only do I know that, I know exactly what would be the purpose of it in my journey at this point. And I would know how to capitalize, I would know how to balance it out, and I would know how to incorporate it in my daily life right now. That goes with food, that goes with money, that goes with lovers, friends, opportunities, events, and just all aspects. I feel like when you're cultivating in a way where you know what you desire and know how it would look, even if you don't know exactly the person that you need to be, just knowing that you want to be more in this reaction, or more in this vibration, is going to put you in the energy to be free. And again, we have the Hangman, or the Hanged One, and this one is actually a card of more freedom, like when you in a place of being uncomfortable, but you have to extend outside of that. So I love that this card flipped over, because this person is tied, and sometimes that tightness be something that you do, or it's not necessarily something that you can control, but you're not really so stuck. She's not really so stuck. Only one of her legs is stuck. And when you really think about it, I know it might seem like a lot, but if she wanted to get her hands uncrossed on the back and just pull herself up with one leg, and then pull that foot out and drop, I mean, ain't no telling how difficult it's going to be, but she can do it. So that plays inside of it, because it's a principle of how, kind of what I was saying, how you would allow yourself to be in a prism of reality, and your state of mind can definitely expand outside of that. So beyond the cards, I've been feeling like myself would be called outside of the cards. Not saying that I don't appreciate the cards. These cards are so magical, but I feel like this message is beyond just spiritualism. This is something that anyone can watch. Like when you really are trying to develop and grow, when you feel like you want more, when you feel like you're in a position where you don't see an end result in that position, but it's just a feeling for right now, but 3 years from now you can't see exactly where it would go or what would be the purpose in it, I'll tell you right now, don't invest in it. You will be wasting your years. You have to know, even if it's just an opportunity that's temporary, that in 2 months or in 2 years this is gonna get me benefits, or this is gonna give me this, and this is what I need. You have to be in a position like that, or whatever you're taking in. And I feel like personally that's the only way for it to sustain. If you're thinking that you're moving in the direction of something and it's just a blessing, it's just something that's cultivated, and even if you don't know exactly what you're going to get out of it, you feel like it's better than what you had, but you're not even trying to formulate that into anything of what you want it to be, it's not going to sustain. It's going to be something that's going to come and might even throw you more off track. because of the fact that you got something and you don't know what to do with it. So you just want to make sure that you're always grounded in what you want and your purpose. And definitely for me, I feel like with that, I've been able to come through so many ways and obstacles, but still stay on course because I always know where to go back to. You know what I'm saying, y'all? And if you don't, rewatch the video. It's a very simple objective, and I feel like that was needed to say because that is instilling so much more in my life. Me being mindful of what I do it for, and I talked about it yesterday, but actually realizing exactly what it can capitalize into and what it can actually shift, and just a whole paradigm for people that are going through things that I'm going through. Even if you're just a year behind, if it's just a present representation to show you that transitionally this is the mindset that I was in, so that when you see me in the other frame, you understand why I'm able to do more with that than maybe you would if you just thought that it was just something that God blessed you. And not saying that God don't bless you, but it's been times before you manifested things. So what can you do with what you manifested now that it's come into fruition? So even for myself, I feel like I've had things that come into fruition a lot faster, a lot slower than I would imagine. What I do with that is make myself in that. Knowing myself, I can look at that objectively and be like, okay, so what can I do to mold that into what I'm doing now? And with that is so many avenues. I can take that in so many directions. Like I mentioned, just some of the traits that I've had, but also through engaging with people that are aligned with me. Now we're doing two of the same things, and you might have other traits, So expanding out is also included in that, because being open to the fact that it's more partnerships to be made is just something that I feel like is purposeful. And the biggest purpose in it is to learn through it, to learn that it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be exactly how you expected it to be, but it could be better than what came. So what could you do more? What could you do that is going to allow you to take in that lesson to the point where you don't have to take it in again? So that's another thing I should mention. When you living in this state of recognizing your purpose, I don't really see things come around looking the same way too many times, because when I see it, I explore it and I make it mine so much that I'm progressing into another level of evolution, and now it looks different. Even if it's just a simulation of still work or business, now it's a different level of it because I've already explored all aspects and I know exactly what's needed for me to behave in that present circumstance. So just continue to do what's best for you in your life, of course, but just remembering how things coincide with each other, and remembering that what you choosing to do should always be the priority, regardless if you're getting paid for it or not. What's the most fitting for you. So try to formulate yourself in a way where you can capitalize off the things that make you feel good and not have to spend so much more time off balance with your journey. And not saying that it's a lot of people feeling that, but this video is for you. If you need that extra push, that extra insight to know that you can recalibrate your life, it's possible. And I feel like it's easier when you continue to go in the direction that you want than to abruptly change and then try to establish yourself in that. So even if it takes time for like you getting out of what is balanced or unaligned for your journey, if it takes 2 years for you to get out of that job, but you know exactly what direction you're going in, don't let the time stop you from doing it. I don't care how old you are, because you have to remember that what's going to be more worth it, even if you're only doing it for a small amount of time, at the end, when time is coming and when it's time to evolve outside of this body, that's the way to actually accomplish things. Staying stagnant or staying in the same place will not really teach you all you need to know. When you're considering developing outside of motives or constructs or just yourself, you being a human, just developing outside of the paradigm shift of, like, for me, coming from being a broke mindset to actually being a successful person and developing out of the mindset of even material. These are the true person the true purpose behind developing in a human form, and recognizing the difference between material and spiritual connection, but also evolution and all of that. So yeah, that kind of went a lot deeper than I imagined, but I've always wanted to talk about that, just how people have their priorities fucked up. And I could talk about how a person think that it's important for you to have cars and houses, and not saying I don't want it, but when I really think about why it's really not important, it's because if it's not in your purpose to really be developing, how much you develop does not matter. But what will matter is how you looking at it when you're developing. What are you doing with your form of development? How is it helping others? Is it in a positive? Is it even helping others? You know, those are the things that really are substantial. Those are the things that when you're doing it is going to be worth it, because what is more than just what you're doing in the moments like that. It's principles of how can it affect, and what is like the footprint that you're leaving. So at this point, I feel like hopefully you guys should get it. I don't want to continue to talk more because this might be a video that people rewind. Even myself, I'm going to watch this over so I could really understand exactly what state and what I could develop, because thinking that you have to be just continuously growing in a way that you know is not gonna get you anywhere is so we ain't doing that no more, y'all. We don't have to do that anymore, y'all. So man, join me on my journey towards developing what's best for me and developing myself truly. Y'all, I see you tomorrow. Peace.